Hello again, everyone. We have an informative session in line of us. The informative session is on alternative practices in architecture. Find your fit by architect Ashutosh Jha from Kaarwan. Architecture as a discipline is constantly evolving, driven by changes in technology, society, and environmental concerns. While conventional architectural practices often follow established norms and standards, there is a growing movement towards alternative practices that challenge the status quo and explore innovative approaches to design. Ashutosh Sir is an experienced traveler, designer, and entrepreneur. Driven by the passion to help architects find better opportunities by upscaling, he leads the team at Kaarwan, an online platform that creates the most beautiful and impactful learning experiences. All of Kaarwan's workshops and courses are the most affordable in the country. They have helped numerous learners achieve at least 5x growth in less than a year at prices under 10K. That's the kind of impact he believes in. When not connecting dots in the design world, you'll find him taking in economics these days. I heartily welcome you, sir.
And visible to everyone. So, hello everyone.
Yes.
Very good afternoon. Welcome you all to this session. And Vishal, should I go ahead and start with this
Yes,
session?
sir. Yeah, you can start the session. You can present.
Okay, perfect. So I hope my screen is already presented and visible to everyone. Okay. So
Yes, it is.
today's session we'll be talking about finding your fit in architecture. I would not say that one of the best people in the industry to talk about this, or even the level of success other kind of presenters in this event have quite. I think I'm quite young, quite new to the industry, still learning a lot, not at a level where I can motivate people or inspire people to do things. But I still believe I've had enough number of failures to at least tell what has worked for me, or what is it, what are things that you guys can avoid. Okay, so in today's session we're majorly going to talk about how do you navigate post your architecture degree, or while your architecture degree, if you're not very sure how to go about it, so what are alternate practices, how do you find your fit. Okay, so there has been a lot of noise about uh, even enrollments in architecture in the last couple of years. Okay, CO had to conduct the fourth test of NATA this year, and I think that will get in October or something like that, because we've not had as much enrollments. Okay, and a good share of a good, a very important reason behind that would be people finding it difficult to build careers post architecture, the kind of careers that they were hoping for. Okay, so I believe a lot in our community. I have a lot of faith in even the academics of architecture in India. Okay, I believe we are trained as commandos. We can do whatever we set our mind to. Okay, but yeah, we'll not make this a motivational kind of a session. I'll just take you guys through my experiences, my journey, and rather than trying to help everyone feel that it was a good session, they heard something good, or something like that, which ends up being a YouTube video that you watched last night but had no impact in your life. Rather than that, I would want this session to be helpful to 2 to 3 people. If I can do that, like really helpful, where they can take actions, decisions based on this, rather than like everyone just finding it good. Okay, that would not be my purpose. So yes, if you have any questions throughout what I'm speaking about, do interrupt us, put up on the chat. My major focus would be on answering anything that you guys have in your mind, rather than just speaking what I have come prepared for. Okay, because very very sure that you'll find similar information, similar stories elsewhere. I definitely take you guys through it in a storytelling format. Okay, just my experiences, that's all. It's up to you. What is it that you take out from it? Okay, what is it that helps you understand what mistakes to not make, and what are some experiences that you need to have. Okay, so let's get started. Uh, One interesting thing I would want to tell you guys, before we start, before even we move forward, before even if I talk, I tell about myself. Okay, so I have a friend who currently is trying to build a fantasy gaming platform like Dream Level for Indonesia. He was the what do you call them? USEC of our NASA team. He is from an architecture background. He's building a fantasy game platform for Indonesia. Okay, Play GPL is the name of that platform. I have a friend who's making a fintech platform for India, Amit Singh. Okay, again, and my batchmates. They're all my batchmates I'm talking about. Okay, I have a friend who's working in US in an insurance company. I have a friend who is working at ICICI at a VP role again in finance. I have a friend who's working as a UX designer at QMath, which is again one of the biggest edtech platforms. Okay, I have a friend who's trying to build a small, studio where people come and learn pottery. Okay, I have a friend who's trying to build Airbnbs across Uttarakhand and Himachal, to build his travel business. Okay, I have a friend who's working at Ecom. I have a friend who's working at Qatar. I have a friend who's working at Canon Design. I have a friend who's maybe working at Punarshala. So these are all people from the same batch, my batch, which graduated in 2015 architecture at architecture at IIT Roorkee. Okay, so I would want to take you through my journey of how it has been and how it has changed with respect to the people I was on this journey with. Okay, so I'm Ashutosh Jha. I'm one of the founders at Kaarwan, and I sometimes I'm interested in architecture. I talk about UX design. I'm one of the lead instructors at Kaarwan for UX design. I have a session tonight. If any one of you guys are interested in UX design, okay, then I love traveling. I have built, we started Kaarwan as a, travel firm. I love teaching. I did not know that until, before the pandemic. And I love building businesses. Since I've graduated, I've either worked for startups or I have built startups. Okay. So we'll talk about my journey, which has majorly been about practicality, understanding what is practical, what is doable, and what is not doable. I kind of, I'm a very practical person in that manner. Okay, if I see that there's a very very good scope, but there are not enough people to buy that product, I would not go behind that. You have to be very very practical. You cannot be, like you cannot romanticize every idea and try to follow it blindly. You need to. Second, in my journey, I have had some sort of clarity on what do I need to do, because you need that conviction when people doubt you, when you go through hard times. Okay, so that clarity has always been there. That what is it that I'm here for? What is it? What is my vision? And am I putting my best efforts, or should I leave it? I've put in enough, and I should back off and go do something else. Okay, I've had that kind of clarity too. I have spent a lot of my time even till today learning about everything that interests me, and I would really expect all of you guys to also do that. Okay, and I have also been a very growth driven person, not in terms of growth when it comes to making money. I was making more money just out of college, when I was in 2015, just when I graduated out of college. Okay, I started my journey as a UI UX designer at Housing. I got two placements from IIT Roorkee. Both of them, one of them was as a business associate at ZS Associates in Pune, and second as a UI UX designer at Housing. And I graduated as an architecture, student from IIT Roorkee. Okay, and IIT Roorkee, for some reason, the last 2 years has been the top ranked university or college in architecture. Okay, and if you guys go about and check the reasons and everything behind that, you'll find the reason being high level of placements. So students in our college have multiple placements, not just singular. They have multiple placements in after architecture, and that is why IIT Roorkee ranks the highest. Okay, our college is also good, teachers are also good, but I would not say that they were the best. Okay, it was about the exposure we had, and it was about the opportunities that people grasped onto after their graduation, because like I said, architects are trained to become architects. Okay, so yes, I had a job at housing.com as a UX designer, and they were paying me 17.5 lakhs per annum in 2015. Okay, and that is the kind of salary kind of unheard in the architectural industry, at least in the first 10 years of my career. Okay, so yeah, I had that back in 2015, but yeah, I worked there for 9 months. I learned how to build teams, I learned how to build products, and I left that company to start a fruits and vegetables business in Mumbai. Okay, so yeah, I failed at it, definitely. So failure has been a very, very major part of my journey. Okay, I'll take you through that. Okay, so I've failed enough number of times to not make a few mistakes I see people making today. Okay, and I've seen a lot of people. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about it one by one. So, like I said, I started my journey from IIT Roorkee. My idea post 12th was to get into an IIT. I was not someone who was very particular that I want to get into architecture. I wanted to get into IIT Roorkee. Okay, I wanted to clear IIT JEE examination, and even if I got civil engineering or biotechnology or mechanical. Okay, if I had a really good rank, I would have definitely taken computer science at IIT. I did not have such a good rank. Okay, so I settled with architecture based on my rank. I just wanted to be an IIT. Okay, so I did not choose architecture. Architecture chose me, in one manner. I could say that. Okay. And when I got into architecture, I really loved it. I loved whatever was happening in the college. I loved what my seniors were doing, what my batchmates, how talented they were, and the things that they were doing. Okay. And I also started trying to, figure out what is that I would like to do. And, one thing that a college gave us, that I learned from my college is that you can take risks. Okay. You will always, you have learned enough. You should have that kind of a confidence in yourself over time that okay, worst comes to worst, you will definitely find a job, so that you can support your family for shelter and food. Okay, so that is a level of confidence, that is a level of security you need to have in life, to pursue something really great. Okay, so that was something that was always there. Okay, so that will not face any difficulty in doing this. Okay, so all of us were always trying to do something different. All of us were always trying to learn new things and try new things. Okay, so I I found that I was really good with graphic design, making logos, making posters. I did that throughout my college life for free. Volunteered for seniors. The identity card that is used at our college even now is the one that I had designed back then. Just the visiting card for all our professors at the architecture department, our HOD, late Ela ma'am. So I kept doing all the things that interested me while I was in college, and it was around the final year of college, when we started figuring out, what is it that we're going to do after college, and everyone sitting for placements and all of that. And it was one of our late night discussions that led us to think, even after 50 years of independence, more than 50 years of independence in India, the state of architecture is not as good as it should have been. Given the resources that we have, given the manpower that we have, given the number of architects we graduate every year, there's so many problems that are out there. So we just came up, with a small campaign. It was just a social media campaign. That's all, nothing else. Okay, where we wanted to show the problems faced by our society in terms of sanitation, architecture, and basic needs. Okay, so it was a campaign called Blindfolds of Ignorance. Okay, and we ran that on social media. Okay, just a simple campaign from which was an idea that came out of a very, very late night discussion. Which college students generally do. When you are in a hostel. Okay, and it came up. We came around with this particular uh, you know uh, campaign where we were talking about problems that are there in our society which we have not been actually able to see. It started with that. Okay, and you know uh, fortunately that campaign got a lot of uh, traction from the community, and we had a really, really amazing response. And go ahead and check that campaign even till date on Facebook. And with that campaign, with the success of that campaign, so many people just joining us, sharing their stories, sharing people around them where they think that this is one place where there could have been an intervention, it could have been better, but still not. Okay, so it was that sort of a very, very simple social media campaign that gained a lot of traction. So if you see these photos, these are from October, 2014. I graduated in 2015, so my fourth year when I was supposed to do my thesis. I was simultaneously also trying to, build something called Kaarwan. Okay, and at Kaarwan, so we'll come to the story of Kaarwan. Okay, but yeah, the Kaarwan is built. The idea of Kaarwan was initially just, it was not exactly an idea, it was basically a campaign where we just wanted to understand the kind of problems. We were just trying to see how, you know, we can really solve problems. Okay, so we also understood that, we're coming from one of the most premium institutes in our country, where the government is spending so much on our education, okay, if you're studying at a government funded college. Okay, and what is it that we are giving back to the society? That is where, that was the late night conversation basically, from where we understood, okay, how is it that top, leaders, how have leaders been made, how have people brought change, and we considered Che Guevara, we considered Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, and one thing that we found common in their journeys was that all of them traveled across the length and breadth of our country to understand the problems that people face. Okay, and that gave them some clarity, and we also wanted to do that. Okay, and we was four of us, just in fourth year of college, without the kind of resources and money to travel the country, okay, to understand the problem. So we launched a simple campaign initially, okay, where we try to understand the problems of across the country by sitting in our college, by making people share them, okay, around them with a simple, blindfold around their eyes. Okay, so that got us a lot of, traction. That got us a very, very huge response from everyone around, around us, around the community. Okay, and from there came the idea of, we had been doing LIK trips in our college, for NASA conventions, where we used to conduct, small LIK trips, where we used to go to different places, learn about, document that place, learn about the culture, learn about the people there, create sketches and everything, there, and spend weeks there with very, very minimal cost. That was where, the idea of first Kaarwan came into being. We thought, what we'll do, let's try to bring in a group of people. We'll travel across the country, across a good part of the country. We'll show them the problems that exist. Okay, we'll make them meet top architects of those region, understand solutions from them, or get guidance from them, understand problems, and if possible, solve one of them. Okay, our idea was, that for a problem to be resolved, okay, you need to first diagnose it. You first need to understand the problem. Understanding the problem is half the solution. Okay, so our idea was that we'll take top architects selected on the basis of an application across the country, understand the problems. That was the basic vision of Kaarwan, with which, we started, okay, to uh, build a platform. Not exactly, building a platform was not the major uh, vision back then, but it was simply to travel across, understand the problems that people are facing, and then maybe, if possible, trying to solve them one by one. That was basically the idea. And what we wanted to do was, with the small profit that we would have earned from this, first journey that we would do, okay, we wanted to travel across the country ourselves. Just the four of us, the four friends that, who wanted to do this. Okay, so I'll take you through that journey. Okay, but yeah, I told you, what are the things that my journey has. Okay, similarly, if you talk about Kaarwan's journey talks about community, how important it is to build a community of people who would really back you, who would really support you when, times are not really good. Because we have seen some really, really tough times, some really, really hard times, and the community of people that we had around us, people we met through our travels, people whom we met, at different parts of India and neighboring countries, how they have helped us, overcoming these problems, how our community has helped us really grow, find a, find a direction even when we were completely lost post the pandemic. Okay, so yeah, community was one important aspect for us. Second was, we always validated things before we went ahead. Okay, so we also looked at, what we're doing at Kaarwan as a sustainable business. Okay, if you're not, it's not a business that's sustaining the families of people or people in the team. Okay, then that business will not survive for long, and you'll not be able to actually, bring that impact. So it should be, we had to always validate the problem statement that we wanted to work on, that this problem actually exists, that there are enough number of people who would want to solve this problem. So we always validated every idea that we had. Third, we always stick to the, the value we provide to our learners. Okay? So providing what kind of value each and every activity that we do, we always try to have complete clarity on that, and make sure we do not negotiate, or we do not compromise on that value that we give to people. Okay, if you check our social media, even if you just check our social media posts, okay, you'll find out how to design guides there, okay, which are really amazing. The most crisp and articulate, guide to design any particular building, okay, you will find there very, very easy. Okay? So even through our social media posts, through our courses, through our workshops, through our travel journeys, okay, hands-on workshop that we've done for colleges or for individuals, we've always made sure there's value that we are providing them, okay, and we're doing that consistently, not just first, second, third time. We keep doing that consistently. Business will follow, community will follow. Okay, and the two major things that we have, to learn from our journey at Kaarwan is one, values not so this is not now the value that we're providing to our learners, but the values we at Kaarwan have. Okay, like what kind of company we want to be. Okay, the kind of vision we have in our mind. Okay, we need to make sure we are giving value to the community. We are maintaining the quality that we have, and we are doing all of these things consistently. And apart from that, we make sure the experience of each and every learner who joins our platform, okay, for our travel workshop, for any hands-on workshop, for any course, or even just a 2-hour masterclass, he has an amazing experience at the end of it. So these are a couple of things that we have learned and based on which we have built Kaarwan. Okay. So moving forward on that, how we started basically, okay, like I told you guys, okay. So when it was the beginning, when we started with the campaign, blindfolds of ignorance, we wanted people to, tell us about the problems. Okay, and then we went back to a lot of colleges, okay, in North India, Central India, in Maharashtra, and we talked about these problems and how to tackle these with people, okay, in these colleges. And mind you, this is the time when we were just in college ourselves. We were in our thesis semester, but we were traveling across the country to understand from people and tell them what the problems that are being faced and how to resolve them. Okay, and we had again, great response from everyone, from colleges, from students, based on which we launched our first trip, which was a 15-day journey across 7 states in India. Okay, which converted into a 17-day journey. A journey where we on this particular trip we had around uh, 400 plus applications for 40 seats that we had. Okay, we wanted to travel with 40, the most, now, I would not have enough ways to to evaluate who is the most amazing architect, or going to be the most amazing architect in our country. But we had a small application process which every student had to fill, and we selected the top 40 students from across the country, students and recent graduates, to travel with us on this journey where we met a lot of amazing architects. We went through a lot, rural areas to try to understand the problems and then, go out. So we had immense response, by after the Blindfolds of Ignorance campaign, we launched this particular trip where the idea was to travel, live with people like they live, okay, understand their culture, understand how they go about their daily activities, and see if we can actually, relate to any problem. We could identify any problem that if, because we cannot make someone solve a problem. We cannot make all architects, want to do good to the society, okay, unless you get something in return. What we wanted to do was tell all of these guys that these are the problems that exist. So when you get successful or whenever you have time, okay, you will always think back what I have seen in the past. If you know the problems, okay, so if you know the problem, you may or may not think of the solution. But if you do not know the problem, you'll for sure never think of the solution. So we just wanted to make sure all of us were able to see the problem. So that was the idea of this particular journey. Okay, and we had 400 plus applications. We selected 40 people out of them based on a very very rigorous selection process, and we went on this particular journey. Okay, where we met, top architects like Didi Contractor, late architect Revati Kamal, Karan Grover. We went to Hunashala, we went to different villages, and we learned doing a few things with them. We practiced with them, we lived with them, and while the first trip ended, people were in tears. People, connected so closely with each other and people, with the people around. Okay, this was how basically Kaarwan started. It had no, there was no plan to make it into a company or anything as such. Okay, we just wanted to travel the country. We did not have enough funds, so we thought let's do it with a lot of people, because from there, with the funds they give us, we'll be able to travel with them. That was the whole idea. Okay? And we conducted the first journey and we realized that it had great impact on all the learners. Okay, all of these guys now are doing really amazing things, in their careers. Okay? So we did that first journey with them, and after that we just made a very very small promise to ourselves that we at this point we did not think of this as a business idea. Never. Okay? It was just something that we're doing good for the society. We had very we had clear clarity because we did not know how big of a business this is. if we can actually generate enough revenue to leave architecture or whatever jobs we are getting into to do this full time. So we did not have that clarity back. Okay, so all of us did our work as we did, but what we made sure to do was that we'll do one such trip every year based on selections. Okay, so from 2015 until 2018, we just did one trip, one journey every year to make sure Kaarwan survives. Okay, and while we, in the background, we do the research. Okay, so while all of this was happening, I was running a company called Bhajiwala.com. Okay, I left housing.com in 8 months because there I learned how to build products, digital products, apps, websites, really amazing things. Okay, and I learned how to build teams. Okay, and I started a company called Bhajiwala.com, which was a fruits and vegetables omni-channel platform. I have no experience, no family background in fruits, vegetables, or perishable products. Okay, I did an architectural degree. I did UX design for 9 months, and I started, selling fruits and vegetables because I saw some scope in it. Okay, and I raised funds, within the first two, like in the second year itself, we are doing revenues worth 4 crore. Okay, but something happened in 2018 in India. Like this year, when tomato prices rose really, really high, at that time the same things happened with tomato. In 2018 also the same thing happened. Right? And we were doing something called Horeca. Horeca is where you supply to hotels, restaurants, and catering services. And we had annual contracts with these companies, and we had to supply them tomato at 25 rupees per kg, even when our buying price was 100 rupees. Okay? That was a spiral for us. Within 2 months, we faced a lot of losses. Okay, and we could not come out of it. Okay, we were already, like we had raised funds from investors, and we could not survive. Okay? So we had to shut it down in 2018. And the mistake the thing that I learned from there was that I got into an industry. It was really good. It was really lucrative. We also made revenue, built a very, very big team. We were 50 plus people, across Mumbai and Thane. We had retail outlets. We had 4 of our retail outlets, and we had our own app and we were doing good revenues as well. Okay? But I did not come from that background. These kind of small things, that happen, that's a experience of, someone who's in the industry for a couple of decades. He would know how to survive something like this, which I did not. And that is what I learned from there, that it was an industry, it was completely new. Either I should have had someone from the industry to guide me throughout this, or I should have hired someone. Okay? Or, I should not have got myself into it without much research. I got myself into it very, very easy. Okay? But yeah, I learned a lot. Okay, me, my teammates, we call it the Harvard experience. Okay, so some people, spend lakhs and crores to go and study at Harvard, and we spent that in making mistakes and had some sort of an experience. Okay, through our failures. So 2018 was when I shut down Bhajiwala and Bhajiwala.com, and I started thinking of, can we build a business at Kaarwan, where what we're trying to do was make travel as a means of education, make travel a very important means to educate people. Okay, because the experiences that you have through travel stays with you for life. Okay, and impacts you in really great ways. Okay, so and over the period I had realized that we're getting good amount of people. We had built a small dashboard. So throughout this time, when we were not working full time at Kaarwan, we were doing little things. In 2016 we did a trip to Northeast India. 2017 we went to Bhutan. 2018 we went to Nepal, and we did a couple of other trips in 2018 just to test if it can be a full-time business for me to get into. Okay, in 2019, when Bhajiwala was shut, I went into Kaarwan full-time to travel. I started building a team of people, who would curate these journeys, who would reach out to colleges, who would travel with me. Okay, and in 2019, we did not do a lot. We had 8 journeys. We had 3 college study tours. We had 3 international trips, and we had received 6,500 plus applications throughout the year 2019. Okay, that was going really well. For 2020, what we had was, for 2020, we already had a couple of colleges whose tickets were booked, whose flights were booked, and we had a lot of amazing journeys planned. And then what happened? And this was all of the things that we're doing in 2018, 2019. Okay, we are doing bamboo workshops. We are doing like mud architectural workshops, Kathuni workshops, organic farming. We went to Nepal and we helped people build post earthquake, or earthquake resistant structures. Okay, structures that were destroyed in the Nepal earthquake. Okay, so we did all of these things until 2018, 2019. Okay, and it had a great impact not just on our learners, but also on the community of people with whom we did these workshops. Okay, so it brought livelihood for the people with whom we conducted these workshops. Okay, these were local people. Okay? We help them, generate revenues for their homestays. We help them build training centers. Okay, we help them promote their art and craft and boost their, local economy. Okay, so this would be, Akulan's team in villages around Kohima, Satish ji at Himachal Pradesh, building his center, Pura Pagla from Bhutan, a place where not even tourists reach, and with where there we went and built the biggest stupa in Bhutan, in Bhutan. Okay, so from the Ura village. Okay, and yeah, we impacted. By 2019, we had impacted more than 10 villages in building their economy. Okay, and just before the pandemic in 2020, there's a, if I'm not sure if you guys can see that small class. So we won the India Today's award for alternate livelihood creation. So that we were able to do so here we are not, today's session is about alternate career opportunities for architects, but here we were doing this for the community we interact with, for the society, the villages that we interact with. So we're doing really great in this space, okay, and thinking only about travel and making an impact through travel, okay, by meeting people, by understanding problems, by trying to solve them, by learning from them, okay. And then what happened was the pandemic in 2020. So just in 2018 or end of 2018 or 2019, I faced this problem where I had to shut down a business where I invested a lot of my savings, all of my savings basically that I had for Bazigar.com, a lot of investors' money, a lot of families' money, burned like learned a lot, burnt a lot basically, okay, both the things. And then shifted to Kaarwan, built a team, from scratch, from no one there, Prema joined the team, Ashita joined the team, and a couple of interns, okay, very early people, okay. And we're just very small team, 4 to 5 people only until then. And then the pandemic hit. And we had amazing plans for 2020. We had, international trips planned, and we had, like, even after the pandemic happened in March, in April, we booked tickets for June. कि pandemic itna hi chalega, like, the world does not stop. It's a 2 week thing. It's a 3 week thing. We booked flight tickets in April for June, thinking, so, okay, it's a couple of weeks thing that will go, we will travel. Okay, we faced such immense losses. We've just recently, until a month ago, we were paying back to those students who had to book tickets through us. Okay, just until a month ago from 3 years ago. Until a month back, we were paying those checks back. Okay, so that was the kind of problem we faced at pandemic. Travel was completely shut. We had nowhere to be, and we had a team. Okay, I had a team. We had a team that we had to feed. We had to bring money, bread to the table. Okay. So initially, we thought, okay, first thing is let's keep adding value to the community. That is quite clear that we know that we need to keep adding value to the community. Do something for the community. Community has brought us so far. Okay, so we kept paying our employees. Okay, it was a small team, but we kept paying them, and we kept working on so we started doing this small Instagram live session just to teach people completely free on Instagram live, and simple things like that. Okay, and then we came across this idea. We were having interactions with IIA, Indian the municipal bodies in Maharashtra and some places, and we thought, okay, let's do a simple design competition, because quarantine, design facilities were facing problems that time, and even isolation cells. Okay, so we launched a design competition, a national design competition. We thought the whole idea would be that will help with designs for isolation cells and quarantine design facilities across India. Okay? And that would make even the students, involved, because everyone's getting frustrated. Colleges were not happening. Things were not happening for everyone. Even students wanted to do something, become a part of something. Okay, and government bodies also wanted to be, they also needed help, some sort of support. Okay, so we partnered with IIA, we partnered with the Ministry of Defense, the Department of Disaster and Mitigation. Okay, so head of COEDMM Mama Mukherjee, Mala Mohan from Ministry of Defense, IIA's Divya Kushsar. Okay, so we were the jurors of this particular competition, and we had again more than 650-700 applications for this particular competition. Okay, and a couple of designs who from this competition, winning designs, also become part of real designs that were built in municipalities of Vadodara, Gujarat, and Maharashtra. Okay, so we created an impact from it. This is from where we started. It was just adding value. There was no business here. There was nothing in our mind. All we wanted to do was to keep adding value to the community. Okay, let's keep doing that. Okay, we're facing some problem, but yeah, we'll get past it. Okay, so that was our belief throughout. Okay, so we ran this competition, and after this competition, we had, I simply we had a lot of people wanting us to, review their designs or tell us what went wrong with their designs, give them critique. Okay, like in college exams, we did not have the time, or our jurors did not have that kind of time that they'll give review to each and every applicant. Okay? So what I did was we did a research. We went through all the jurors again. We went to 100 plus more jurors from across the country, professors, academicians, and even professionals from the industry, and asked them what were they looking in design entries. We looked at mistakes with a lot, which a lot of students made, and we started webinar, a very simple webinar called "How to Win a Design Competition," right? Just for the people who attended our competition, to tell them what could have made their entry a winning entry, what was missing in that. Okay? And we saw seats got sold as soon as we launched it. It was on 18th July. The first batch was supposed to happen in 2020, and the seats got sold like in half an hour. We launched another batch for 21st July. The same thing happened. The seats got sold, and I realized, okay, we cannot do back-to-back batches of the same workshop. We did the next for 3rd of August, and again the same thing happened. And that was where we realized, okay, now there's something missing in the current academics of architecture. There's something that is missing which people need. That is why this is happening. We did not realize this as a business opportunity. We never thought of it as a business opportunity. Just because our seeds were getting sold so quickly, we realized, okay, there's an opportunity over here. And what was that opportunity? To understand what was the situation basically post-pandemic, during pandemic, even right now, what's happening? What's happening is very basic economics, if you see. The demand of architects in our country is less than the supply we have. Okay. Whenever this happens with any kind of a good, okay, it's basic, it's very, very basic economics. Okay. When the supply is a lot more than demand, what will happen? The cost of that good would go low. Okay. The value of that product would go low. That is exactly what is happening in the architectural community. Right? Very, if you consider the basic logic, we have a lot of supply, but not enough demand. Okay. And if you think, is this the case with everyone, or is just with architecture? Believe me, this is the case with everyone. If you consider which is the top engineering or which is the top undergraduate college in India, the top undergraduate college, it would be IIT Bombay, no questions asked, okay? Or IIT Chennai or IIT Kaarwan or Khattar, okay? Any one of these. Okay? One of the top branches being mechanical department. Okay? If I just, this is a simple surveys, surveys numbers I'm giving. Okay? So just a couple of years, last year's number I'm actually telling you, 2021 or 22. So from the mechanical engineering department, which is one of the most coveted departments at IIT Bombay, less than 5% of their graduates actually pursued mechanical engineering or core mechanical. They were from the top college, top mechanical engineering student, and still they went and chose what they could have been really good at, rather than being in the industry, romanticizing about it. And because of that, not even when you're not happy, you're still doing the same thing. That is something should not happen just because you have done a degree, 5 years degree in architecture. This is a simple fallacy that is called as the sunken cost fallacy. कि मैंने अभी 100 रुपए इस पे खर्च कर ही दिया तो 20 और कर दो, 15 और कर देता हूँ, शायद उसके बाद रिजल्ट आएगा. So that is called the sunken cost fallacy. Okay? A lot of us get into that. We think you've done an architectural degree, even if something else that you are really good at could give you, a lot better returns. You would not do it because you're scared. How can I leave architecture behind? Okay, I'm not asking you to leave architecture behind. I have a lot of hope with this particular industry, and I'm building a startup in this industry. Okay? I keep coming back to architecture every now and then. Okay? The only simple thing I'm asking you, I ask every architecture student is, find your fit, find what it is that you're really good at, and believe me, as architects, you're trained to do a lot of things, not just design buildings. Okay? You can do whatever you want. You can design sets for movies. You can, do interior design. You can be game designers, concept designers, UI UX designers. You can do a lot more. You can get into business. You can run businesses. You can run not just design studios. Okay? You can run businesses, because I've not seen any other academic program, any other curriculum where a student is trained so well. I understand, there's still a whole debate of, if architectural degree should be 4 year, 5 year. Okay, I'll not get into that debate. Okay. But one of my ideas or one of my feedback here would be, architects are one of the most smartest people in the industry out there. Believe me, we hire at least 8 to 10 people every month. And throughout in our inner team of Karma, we do not have an architect's role to design buildings. We have no such position in Karma. But still, our team is 80% comprised of architects. In our team, architects are designing, architects are handling social media, they're writing content, they're selling courses, being counselors, experts, teaching, they're teaching people, they're handling operations and communication. They're doing everything. And they're doing really well. I would not have anyone apart from an architect do all of these things, at least in our company at Kaarwan. Okay. And believe me, we are trained how to work at tight deadlines. We are trained how to work, consistently give our best. We are trained how to, look at everything in detail, not just do it at the surface level. Okay. We are trained to present ourselves, our ideas, convince people of our ideas. People out there, other undergraduate programs are not taught how to do this. You can do whatever you want in whatever industry. Believe me. But you'll have to explore. I'm not saying, you're really good with, just leave architecture because Ashutosh said so. Not at all. See what you're really good at. There's so many there's so many courses out there. So if you're very sure you want to, so the problem is, like I said, supply is high, demand is low. So the value would definitely keep going low and low. It's basic economics. There's nothing no one can do to increase the salary of an architect in India if the demand is going to be low and supply is going to be high. Either we increase the demand by bringing in more avenues, more places, or we make the supply at such a level. That is what government does. How does government control inflation? When there's inflation, it reduces the money it pours in the system. When it sees that if not spending, it gives them offers. That's the government has to do something. We in architectural industry, we cannot do this. But believe me, architecture is one undergraduate program where at least 30, 40, 50% of people who graduate as architecture, graduate in architecture are at least pursuing architecture. Believe me, the chemical engineers, civil engineers, mechanical engineers in our country, not even 10% of them are able to really find something in their code worth doing. They move to sales, marketing, other roles, which are again really good. I'm not, demeaning any of these profiles. They're really amazing. I love doing sales. I'm a really good salesperson. Okay? So I love doing sales myself. Okay? So not saying that, but they do not have, anything like we in architecture still have so many people still only focusing in architecture. Okay? So if you are very sure you want to just pursue architecture, see what it is, what kind of value you can provide to them. Okay? And then accordingly upskill yourself. Okay? Maybe companies are looking for this particular value because everyone is at the same level and there's so much supply. It's very difficult for even companies to choose. Okay, so you need to upskill yourself. You need to get better, give more value as compared to someone else. Okay, so yeah, the state is currently this. There's some unemployment. There's a lot of fear amongst people, new entrants, and people in the industry. And there's also, so this was the, I'm also talking about the pandemic time. There's a lot of FOMO as well, that this person is doing thing, I should also do something. Okay, he is learning that, so I should also learn this. And so these kind of things are there in the industry. So I would not ask you, you should not do things out of FOMO. You should have clarity. You should understand what you're really good at and give everything a little time. If you think you could be someone who is good at maybe UX design or graphic design or concept art or just, visualization, architecture visualization, nothing else. Okay, give some time. Try to become a specialized person in that. Okay, explore that while you are continuing with your architectural practice, your jobs, your internships. But spend a little bit of your time until you are, like 25, 30. Until at least you are 30. Because after that, you might not have the time and the patience and the opportunity to try different things. Right now, while you're in college or just out of college, is the time when you can explore different things. Okay. So this was the reason behind which, what we created post-pandemic. Okay, it was now what we're trying to build. Initially, our vision was to promote travel as a means of education. Now at Kaarwan, so again, visions changed, companies changed. Okay, because the problem was that we had pandemic, we could not continue. Okay? But yeah, we had an amazing team. Okay, that team helped. That team put in a lot of efforts. Okay, without even knowing what the results would be, we went throughout the pandemic, we put in a lot of effort, and now what we're trying to build is the Design School of India, which would be the most efficient, where our courses are efficient in terms of pricing, in terms of the impact they bring, and the size of the program. Okay? That's what we're trying to build right now. We have our courses are short, affordable, and interactive. All of them. We are not creating recorded sessions. So I'll not talk about the Kaarwan. Basically, you can go ahead and check. But yeah, like I said, our major idea was experience of the value with which we build Kaarwan, that we always want to make sure learners have an amazing experience. Okay, so if you go ahead and just check, any of our, Facebook reviews or Instagram or any of these platforms, you'll find thousands of 5-star plus reviews. Okay? Because we've made sure the quality is amazing. All of that, okay. So yeah, the turning points that have been there in my life have majorly been the failures that have led me here. Okay, failures and things that have happened through accident. Okay, I do not generally think a lot about things that have gone wrong. I try to look at everything that happens as an opportunity to do something, out of it, rather than, crying over it. Okay, there's no, like this, no point crying over spilled milk. Okay, so failed a lot of times. I've failed enough number of times. Okay, I've failed, and I've had loans of, like, even going to a CR, when, through debts, through investors, okay, failed businesses, want a lot of money, have a complete whole business industry, see all of it go down during the pandemic, okay. But yeah, had a good team, had, good values in that team, where we knew what we had to do and till what level we can, keep giving it, even if you're not getting results. Okay, so yes, challenges. If I talk about the challenges that I face, in doing all of this, is majorly my internal challenges. I found people around me were really helpful for me. The challenges are majorly internally. When you see your friends maybe earning a lot, okay, and like, so this is, if someone, if you go ahead and try to build your own business, or your own studio, architectural practice, or anything like that. Okay, I'm talking about those challenges right now. Okay, the challenges that I felt over, like, that I faced over there were basically from within me, where I was maybe kind of jealous. Maybe I was, trying to compare myself with other friends of mine, who kept doing the jobs that they got after placement, and they were earning amazing while I was struggling with trying to run a business, trying to find investors, trying to, bring people. Okay. So you cannot compare yourself with, everyone else. Okay. You need to have that clarity that, till what level I will do this. When I'll decide, okay, I need to, discontinue and focus somewhere else. Okay. That takes a building that, clarity takes a lot of time, takes a lot of heart, takes a lot of reading and learning. Okay, that is a major challenge that I have faced. Apart from that, it does not matter a lot what others say. But yeah, I would not say my family has been amazing to me, have supported me throughout. My teammates who were, all our teammates, all the people majorly working at Kaarwan, top position in Kaarwan, are people who have traveled with us, who were our learners before. We have built our team, we have built our whole community, we have built our whole, set up around people's, all the instructors that are there at Kaarwan, people who've traveled with us in the past. All the people who are in our team currently are people, who have traveled with us, on our previous journeys, who have taken courses with us, who have built, we're growing from within basically. Okay, so people around us have been really, really amazing. So not had to face, a lot of such challenges. The challenges are from within, where you need to have clarity, where you need to have, patience, where you need to understand that, maybe, okay, this is, some things go wrong sometimes, but I need to continue, keep doing this until this level, and if I reach that, I'll shift to something else. That has to be there. Now talking about a bit about, alternate practices, if you guys are looking for something like that, there's so many allied skills with architecture that, if you guys are interested in, which have amazing opportunities, okay, with the growing tech, with the growing AI, with all of these things, UX design, graphic design, set design, people specializing in, computational and parametric design, specializing in BIM. Okay, so even getting specialized in architecture could be a really good one. And when I say specialization, I do not even need masters. You do not need to do a masters. Okay, you can. There's such amazing courses out there online these days. Some of them really affordable as well. Okay, if you're able to learn through them and build really good portfolios, that is good enough. Okay, and you'll be able to showcase yourself, as because it's at the end of the day, you are competing with 10 other people who are at the same level as you. So you need to showcase that you can provide more value than the others, okay, in the industry. Okay? For that, you will have to put in a bit more efforts. Okay, it could be upskilling, or it could be learning another skill. And maybe if you think, you want to focus majorly on the money or, detailed design, take steps in that direction. Basically, that is what I would suggest you guys. Okay, try to learn new things. If there is anything that interests you, spend some time in learning that. Otherwise, it's not really good to have regrets at the end of the day. Okay? It's a, like, all those guru sits, one life that we get. Okay, and at the end of the day, you do not want to regret that I could have been a really amazing cricketer, but I never played cricket. I could have been a really amazing, content creator, but I never, came live on YouTube or Instagram. Okay, never have those kind of regrets. So there's something that interests you, that you like, pursue it. You can learn it for free on YouTube. There are good paid platforms, all types of platforms which did not existed 15 years ago. They exist now. There are a lot of things architects can be really amazing at. Try to go through them, try to check them if there's something that interests you, try to pursue it for a while. Okay, if you think you're really good at it, keep doing it. Otherwise, just I'm just talking about spending a couple of hours every week. Okay, that's all, or half an hour every day. That's all for a couple of months. If you realize you're good at it, you continue. If you do not, leave it. No hard feelings, nothing to lose, basically. But yeah, until you try the things that you could have been good at, you will not know. Until before the pandemic, again, I'm not saying I'm a good teacher, but I've been conducting a few courses over time, and I've had my learners, get started in the industry, earning lakhs, more than lakhs per month, where they spent less than 10,000 in a course with Kaarwan. Okay? And we have been able to make that kind of impact. And I never thought I could have been a teacher. It was just accidental that pandemic happened and we started. We had no other choice. We just went with the flow. We kept doing whatever best we could with whatever was given. So that's all. And now I think I could be a teacher. I can teach it. I never, I would have laughed or scoffed at this idea, in 2019, 2018. Okay? But yeah, things have changed because I tried doing it. Okay? Or like throughout, like when I say I am, I mean the whole of our team. Okay? So yes, explore whatever it is that you have. Okay. Now I'll just take you through a pictorial representation of my journey. Just 2 minutes, and then we'll take any questions. Okay. So like I said, journey started with meeting people, bringing people, taking them to top communities, talking about those communities, talking about their problems, trying to resolve them, meeting top artists of neighboring countries as well, not just India. Seeing the beautiful landscapes and the hike, the trek that shows you the value of these small like 2 minutes of peace, this 2 minutes of happiness for which spend hours on treks. Okay, being with the community, helping them. Okay, again traveling through them, learning, sometimes just being the observer, learning what someone else is teaching, and going everything there, sometimes teaching, sometimes just managing a really, really big crowd through landscape of different countries. We always travel sleeper class in train. We have one of the most affordable travel journeys as well. We used to. Now, since that government has made it compulsory for us to charge 18% GST, we have become slightly expensive. But we have conducted 17 race trips for 20,000. All meals, all travel, everything. We have traveled, done a Bhutan 15-day trip, with by picking everyone from Delhi to Delhi for 30,000. Okay? So leading a team and taking them through sleeper class, multiple bogies, multiple seats, unconfirmed seats. Okay, those kind of journeys. Talking in like other countries, and meeting their policymakers, basically. Okay, different landscapes. Again, learning hands-on with people, meeting different architects, and people who are bringing impact. People who are disrupting the industry, learning from them, going through problems. So this was when a very big boulder fell on our bus, while on our road to Spiti, and everyone was like, I did not have the word for it. It was just because the rock fell on the carrier, everyone survived. If by chance there was no carrier, it would have been on one of the person, or if it was just a microsecond early, it would have been on our driver's side, and all of us maybe would have lost our lives. Okay, so going through experiences like this, being stuck in a place for days because of snow, rainfall, and then just writing postcards for friends around you. Okay, being helpful for a person who gave you home for a night because you were stuck and you did not have anywhere to go to, who fed you, who kept you, just a really amazing human being on the hills, who found that you guys are stuck. There's nowhere to go to. There's no hotels. You were supposed to reach a different city. You could not because of landslides and this and that. And he, being the helping hand, feeding us all, giving us place to stay. Okay, meeting different people in different countries, learning with them, making friends in small train journeys, building structures with these people. Okay, traveling to hikes, waiting at railway stations for hours for trains to come, visiting villages in remotest parts of our country, waiting for small tea breaks, helping the community build. So this is from Nepal, one of the most remotest villages in Nepal. I'm not very sure even if now even if it's connected or not, because there was a dam going to come in between. So we had to travel 2 days to reach this particular village in Patlikarka in Nepal, and they're trying to help the community build their school back, which was school and the toilets which was destroyed due to the earthquake. Okay, so going through all of that, enjoying with that community, staying with them, traveling with people different places, and doing Swadesh style from village to village in India, building itineraries, learning from people, learning with people. Okay, that has been my journey basically. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions, I would really love to take them. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Um, Thank you for sharing your life stories, your milestones, as well as your failures, for keeping it real and relatable to an extent. Thank you so much for that. We do have a couple of questions. So, someone has asked that architecture is a 5 year lengthy course involving a big chunk of investment. Many do not continue to pursue professional practice. What would you advise them so that they can direct themselves, keeping the architectural knowledge within?
So what I'm understanding is many do not continue to pursue professional practice. Okay, you do not pursue architecture further post your graduation. What would you advise them so they can direct themselves, keeping the architecture knowledge with it? So what I understand from the question is, you want to maybe talk about any allied field where you can maybe explore, which makes the use of the knowledge that you've gathered in architecture. Am I understanding the question correctly?
Yes, I think that is the right direction.
Okay. So I would suggest that you explore a couple of things that interest you. Okay. When we take this decision of getting into architecture, so our government that lasts for 5 years. We are when we take this decision of choosing an architectural career, we are just 17, maybe 18. Okay. We are not even adults. We are not even allowed to vote to choose a government that will only last for 5 years. But we are required to take a decision that we'll have to stick to for life. So it's very unjustified, to expect out of you that a decision that you took at 17, you will have to live through it for life. Okay. So if there is any interest that you had previously, if any interest that you have, right now, anything, it could be coding, it could be drawing, it could be playing a musical instrument. Okay. Explore that. If you're doing architecture, if you're in college right now, continue with it. I'm not at all saying do not, continue with it. You'll learn a lot through your college. Okay. But yeah, after you have graduated, continue with your internship or a job, what you're doing, but simultaneously try to explore a couple of other things that interest you and try your hand at it. If you're good at it, you'll realize that in a couple of months. Go ahead with it. If you're not, move on to something else. That is the only way you will really figure out. Otherwise, you will not. Okay? So if there's anything that you think you are good at, okay, it could be a specialization in architecture itself. Okay, it could be that you're a very tech savvy person. You focus on the amazing softwares and a lot of new things that are happening in the architecture industry. Focus on that, and you will be a preferred candidate for all architecture studios. Or look at a allied field, whatever interests you. Explore it a bit on your own. There are free courses, there are YouTube videos, there are blogs where you can learn how to make rocket on YouTube these days. Okay? So there's nothing that you cannot learn how to. Okay? So spend a couple of months. Okay, take courses if you need to, explore, try your hand at it, and if you are good at it, just shift. Okay, and if you're talking about fields, I would say all these allied design fields, like will this architecture knowledge will help you all of those spaces. Okay, so in my journey, this architecture knowledge that I've had has helped me even while I was building Bhajiwala. So I used to design my own retail outlets, the retail stores we had. We had an amazing experience, in our retail outlets. I designed them on my own. Okay, the designs of our like website and posters and everything. Again, my architectural design detail knowledge, crafting, creating sheets, making portfolios. Okay, all of that helped in about graphic design, about UX design as well. Okay, the process of design thinking. How do you consider the problem in a design brief? How do you make a design brief, organize it into different steps, and at the end come with a solution that will really work? a functional solution at the end of the day, through your design. That is something architecture taught me, and that is something you can use everywhere. The same design thinking, right? Even while you're building a business, in UX design, graphic design, set design, you want to get into interiors, if you want to get into, maybe just landscaping or, sustainability aspect of it. Becoming a sustainable consultants are earning a lot in India. But again, you need to have, upscale up yourself a bit. Okay? It cannot just be the same knowledge that everyone else has. Okay? You'll have to upscale a bit, and then, you can try all of these things. Hopefully, I've not further confused you.
There is a second question. How have many layers of different professions been involved in the evolution of architecture? What are your thoughts on that?
How have many layers of different professions? Yes, slightly. Can you, Michelle? Can you tell me what is it? What is your understanding of this question?
What is my interpretation of this question is how has different fields, different professions impacted the evolution of architecture over the years, maybe something around that.
Okay. So I in India, if we consider different professions basically have not impacted architecture so much. Okay, how different professions have evolved, or the different layers of many layers of different professions. So I do not think other professions had any impact or on evolution of architecture in India. If you were talking about personally for me, then again it was the other way around for me. The knowledge of architecture in me helped me gain insights, or be good at other things that I tried of other professions that I tried, because that is something architecture taught me, but it was not the other way around. Okay? But yes, if you are good at some sort of maybe an art, so again that helps your creativity, and you are able to your mind is fresh. Okay, so there are some activities that could help evolve or improve you as an architect. Okay, there are certain kind of activities that will help you, which might change case by case. In my case, it was not different professions that helped me with architecture, but the other way around, architecture that helped me, in things that I have tried in my journey.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I think your presentation was something that was really engaging. Thank you for sharing your journey, Kaarwan's journey. There were personally, on a personal note, I had come across Kaarwan through social media platforms, and it has always really informative and engaging content. So thank you for what you are doing. Thank you for inspiring many young professionals in our community. And yeah, we wish you and Kaarwan best of luck for the future, all the future endeavors that are in line for you.
Thank you so much, Vishal, and the whole team of architects, IIDA. Thank you so much, guys, for having me. Yeah, all the best to you.
Thank you.